Chapter 11. There are several papers inside the envelope. I fish them out, my heart still pounding, and I sit back on my bed and begin to read. Contract. Made this day of 2011, the commencement date double quotes closing parenthesis dot between dot Mr. Christian Gray of 301 Escala, Seattle, WA 98889. The dominant, Miss Anastasia STEELE of 1114 SW Green Street, Apartment 7, Haven Heights, Vancouver, WA 98888. The submissive. The parties agree as follows. 1. The following are the terms of a binding contract between the dominant and the submissive. Fundamental terms. 2. The fundamental purpose of this contract is to allow the submissive to explore her sensuality and her limits safely, with due respect and regard for her needs, her limits, and her well-being. 3. The dominant and the submissive agree and acknowledge that all that occurs under the terms of this contract will be consensual. If during the term as defined below or any extended term of this contract either party should be diagnosed with or become aware of any such illness, he or she undertakes to inform the other immediately and in any event prior to any form of physical contact between the parties. 5. Adherence to the above warranties, agreements, and undertakings and any additional limits and safety procedures agreed under Clause 3 above are fundamental to this contract. Any breach shall render it void with immediate effect, and each party agrees to be fully responsible to the other for the consequence of any breach. 6. Everything in this contract must be read and interpreted in the light of the fundamental purpose and the fundamental terms set out in Clauses 2-5 above. Roles. 7. The dominant shall take responsibility for the well-being and the proper training, guidance, and discipline of the submissive. He shall decide the nature of such training, guidance, and discipline and the time and place of its administration, subject to the agreed terms, limitations, and safety procedures set out in this contract or agreed additionally under Clause 3 above. 8. If at any time the dominant should fail to keep to the agreed terms, limitations, and safety procedures set out in this contract or agreed additionally under Clause 3 above, the submissive is entitled to terminate this contract forthwith and to leave the service of the dominant without notice. 9. Subject to that proviso and to Clauses 2-5 above, the submissive is to serve and obey the dominant in all things, subject to the agreed terms, limitations, and safety procedures set out in this contract or agreed additionally under Clause 3 above. She shall without query or hesitation offer the dominant such pleasure as he may require, and she shall accept without query or hesitation his training, guidance, and discipline in whatever form it may take. Commencement and term. 10. The dominant and submissive enter into this contract on the commencement date fully aware of its nature and undertake to abide by its conditions without exception. 11. This contract shall be effective for a period of 3 calendar months from the commencement date, the term. On the expiry of the term, the parties shall discuss whether this contract and the arrangements they have made under this contract are satisfactory, and whether the needs of each party have been met. Either party may propose the extension of this contract subject to adjustments to its terms or to the arrangements they have made under it. In the absence of agreement to such extension, this contract shall terminate, and both parties shall be free to resume their lives separately. Availability. 12. The submissive will make herself available to the dominant from Friday evenings through to Sunday afternoons each week during the term at times to be specified by the dominant. The allotted times. Further allocated time can be mutually agreed on an ad hoc basis. 13. The dominant reserves the right to dismiss the submissive from his service at any time and for any reason. The submissive may request her release at any time, such request to be granted at the discretion of the dominant subject only to the submissive's rights under Clauses 2-5 and 8 above. Location. 14. The submissive will make herself available during the allotted times and agreed additional times at locations to be determined by the dominant. The dominant will ensure that all travel costs incurred by the submissive for that purpose are met by the dominant. Service provisions. 15. The following service provisions have been discussed and agreed and will be adhered to by both parties during the term. Both parties accept that certain matters may arise that are not covered by the terms of this contract or the service provisions, or that certain matters may be renegotiated. In such circumstances, further clauses may be proposed by way of amendment. Any further clauses or amendments must be agreed, documented, and signed by both parties and shall be subject to the fundamental terms set out under clauses 2-5 above. Dominant. 15.1 The dominant shall make the submissive's health and safety a priority at all times. The dominant shall not at any time require, request, allow, or demand the submissive to participate at the hands of the dominant in the activities detailed in Appendix 2 or in any act that either party deems to be unsafe. The dominant will not undertake or permit to be undertaken any action which could cause serious injury or any risk to the submissive's life. 15.3 The dominant shall provide the submissive with all necessary training and guidance in how to properly serve the dominant. 15. For the dominant shall maintain a stable and safe environment in which the submissive may perform her duties in service of the dominant. 15. 5. The dominant may discipline the submissive as necessary to ensure the submissive fully appreciates her role of subservience to the dominant and to discourage unacceptable conduct. The dominant may flog, spank, whip, or corporally punish the submissive as he sees fit, for purposes of discipline, for his own personal enjoyment, or for any other reason, which he is not obliged to provide. 15. 6. In training and in the administration of discipline, the dominant shall ensure that no permanent marks are made upon the submissive's body or any injuries incurred that may require medical attention. 15.7. In training and in the administration of discipline, the dominant shall ensure that the discipline and the instruments used for the purposes of discipline are safe, shall not be used in such a way as to cause serious harm, and shall not in any way exceed the limits defined and detailed in this contract. 15.8 In case of illness or injury, the dominant shall care for the submissive, seeing to her health and safety, encouraging and, when necessary, ordering medical attention when it is judged necessary by the dominant. 15.9 The dominant shall maintain his own good health and seek medical attention when necessary in order to maintain a risk-free environment. 15.1 The dominant shall not loan his submissive to another dominant. 15.11 The dominant may restrain, handcuff, or bind the submissive at any time during the allotted times or any agreed additional times for any reason and for extended periods of time, giving due regard to the health and safety of the submissive. 15.12 The dominant will ensure that all equipment used for the purposes of training and discipline shall be maintained in a clean, hygienic, and safe state at all times. Submissive. 15.13 The submissive accepts the dominant as her master, with the understanding that she is now the property of the dominant, to be dealt with as the dominant pleases during the term generally but specifically during the allotted times and any additional agreed allotted times. 15.14 The submissive shall obey the rules set out in Appendix 1 to this agreement. 15.15 The submissive shall serve the dominant in any way the dominant sees fit and shall endeavor to please the dominant at all times to the best of her ability. 15.16 The submissive shall take all measures necessary to maintain her good health and shall request or seek medical attention whenever it is needed, keeping the dominant informed at all times of any health issues that may arise. 15.17 The submissive will ensure that she procures oral contraception and ensure that she takes it as and when prescribed to prevent any pregnancy. 15. 18. The submissive shall accept without question any and all disciplinary actions deemed necessary by the dominant and remember her status and role in regard to the dominant at all times. 15. 19. The submissive shall not touch or pleasure herself sexually without permission from the dominant. 15.2. The submissive shall submit any sexual activity demanded by the dominant and shall do so without hesitation or argument. 15.21. The submissive shall accept whippings, floggings, spankings, canings, paddlings, or any other discipline the dominant should decide to administer without hesitation, inquiry, or complaint. Activities. 16. The submissive shall not participate in activities or any sexual acts that either party deems to be unsafe or any activities detailed in Appendix 2. 17. The dominant and the submissive have discussed the activities set out in Appendix 3 and recorded in writing on Appendix 3 their agreement in respect of them. Safe words. 18. The dominant and the submissive recognize that the dominant may make demands of the submissive that cannot be met without incurring physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, or other harm at the time the demands are made to the submissive. In such circumstances, related to this, the submissive may make use of a safe word, the safe word S. 2. Safe words will be invoked depending on the severity of the demands. 19. The safe word, yellow, will be used to bring to the attention of the dominant that the submissive is close to her limit of endurance. 20. The safe word, red, will be used to bring to the attention of the dominant that the submissive cannot tolerate any further demands. When this word is said, the dominant's action will cease completely with immediate effect. Conclusion. 21. We the undersigned have read and understood fully the provisions of this contract. We freely accept the terms of this contract and have acknowledged this by our signatures below. The dominant, Christian Gray. Date. The submissive, Anastasia STEELE. Date. Appendix 1. Rules. Obedience. The submissive will obey any instructions given by the dominant immediately without hesitation or reservation, and in an expeditious manner. The submissive will agree to any sexual activity deemed fit and pleasurable by the dominant, excepting those activities that are outlined in hard limits Appendix 2. She will do so eagerly and without hesitation. Sleep. The submissive will ensure she achieves a minimum of 8 hours sleep a night when she is not with the dominant. Food. The submissive will eat regularly to maintain her health and well-being from a prescribed list of foods Appendix 4. The submissive will not snack between meals, with the exception of fruit. Clothes. During the term, the submissive will wear clothing only approved by the dominant. The dominant will provide a clothing budget for the submissive, which the submissive shall utilize. The dominant shall accompany the submissive to purchase clothing on an ad hoc basis. If the dominant so requires, the submissive shall, during the term, wear adornments. The dominant shall require, in the presence of the dominant and at any other time the dominant deems fit. Exercise. The dominant shall provide the submissive with a personal trainer for times a week in hour-long sessions at times to be mutually agreed between the personal trainer and the submissive. The personal trainer will report to the dominant on the submissive's progress. Personal hygiene. Beauty. The submissive will keep herself clean and shaved and/or waxed at all times. The submissive will visit a beauty salon of the dominant's choosing at times to be decided by the dominant and undergo whatever treatments the dominant sees fit. All costs will be met by the dominant. Personal safety. The submissive will not drink to excess, smoke, take recreational drugs, or put herself in any unnecessary danger. Personal qualities. The submissive will not enter into any sexual relations with anyone other than the dominant. The submissive will conduct herself in a respectful and modest manner at all times. She must recognize that her behavior is a direct reflection on the dominant. She shall be held accountable for any misdeeds, wrongdoings, and misbehavior committed when not in the presence of the dominant. Failure to comply with any of the above will result in immediate punishment, the nature of which shall be determined by the dominant. Appendix 2. Hard limits. No acts involving fire play. No acts involving urination or defecation and the products thereof. No acts involving needles, knives, cutting, piercing, or blood. No acts involving gynecological medical instruments. No acts involving children or animals. No acts that will leave any permanent marks on the skin. No acts involving breath control. No activity that involves the direct contact of electric current, whether alternating or direct, fire, or flames to the body. Appendix 3. Soft limits. To be discussed and agreed between both parties. Does the submissive consent to masturbation, cunnilingus, fellatio, swallowing semen, vaginal intercourse, vaginal fisting, anal intercourse, anal fisting? Does the submissive consent to the use of vibrators, butt plugs, dildos, other vaginal or anal toys? Does the submissive consent to bondage with rope, bondage with leather cuffs, bondage with handcuffs or shackles or manacles, bondage with tape, bondage with other? Does the submissive consent to be restrained with hands bound in front, ankles bound, elbows bound, hands bound behind back, knees bound, wrists bound to ankles, binding to fixed items, furniture, etc., binding with spreader bar, suspension? Does the submissive consent to be blindfolded? Does the submissive consent to be gagged? How much pain is the submissive willing to experience? Where 1 is likes intensely and 5 is dislikes intensely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does the submissive consent to accept the following forms of pain punishment discipline: spanking, whipping, biting, genital clamps, hot wax, paddling, caning, nipple clamps, ice, other types or methods of pain? Holy fuck, I can't bring myself to even consider the food list. I swallow hard, my mouth dry, and read it again. My head is buzzing. How can I possibly agree to all this? And apparently it's for my benefit to explore my sensuality, my limits safely. Oh, please. I scoff angrily. Serve and obey in all things. All things. I shake my head in disbelief. Actually, don't the marriage vows use those words? Obey? This throws me. Do couples still say that? Only 3 months? Is that why there have been so many? He doesn't keep them for long? Or have they had enough after 3 months? Every weekend? That's too much. I'll never see Kate or whatever friends I may make it my new job, provided I get one. Perhaps I should have 1 weekend a month to myself. Perhaps when I have my period. That sounds practical. He's my master. I'm to be dealt with as he pleases. Holy shit. I shudder at the thought of being flogged or whipped. Spanking probably wouldn't be so bad. Humiliating, though. And tied up? Well, he did tie my hands together. That was, well, it was hot. Really hot, so perhaps that won't be so bad. He won't loan me to another dominant. Damn right he won't. That would be totally unacceptable. Why am I even thinking about this? I can't look him in the eye. How weird is that? The only way I ever have any chance to see what he's thinking. Actually, who am I kidding? I never know what he's thinking, but I like looking into his eyes. He has beautiful eyes, captivating, intelligent, deep, and dark with dominant secrets. I recall his burning smoky gaze and press my thighs together, squirming. And I can't touch him. Well, no surprise there. And these silly rules. No, I can't do this. I put my head in my hands. This is no way to have a relationship. I need some sleep. I'm shattered. All the physical shenanigans I've been engaged in over the last 24 hours have been, frankly, exhausting. And mentally, oh, man, this is so much to handle. As Joes would say, a real mindfuck. Perhaps in the morning, this might not read like a bad joke. I scramble up and change quickly. Perhaps I should borrow Kate's pink flannel pajamas. I want something cuddly and reassuring around me. I head to the bathroom in my t-shirt and sleep shorts and brush my teeth. I stare at myself in the bathroom mirror. You can't seriously be considering this. My subconscious sounds sane and rational, not her usual snarky self. My inner goddess is jumping up and down, clapping her hands like a 5-year-old. Please, let's do this. Otherwise, we'll end up alone with lots of cats and your classic novels to keep you company. The only man I've ever been attracted to, and he comes with a bloody contract, a flogger, and a whole world of issues. Well, at least I got my way this weekend. My inner goddess stops jumping and smiles serenely. Oh yes, she mouths, nodding at me smugly. I flush at the memory of his hands and his mouth on me, his body inside mine. Closing my eyes, I feel the familiar delicious pull of my muscles from deep, deep down. I want to do that again and again. Maybe if I just sign up for the sex, would he go with that? I suspect not. Am I submissive? Maybe I come across that way. Maybe I misled him. In the interview, I'm shy, yes, but submissive. I let Kate bully me. Is that the same? And those soft limits, geez, my mind boggles, but I'm reassured that they are up for discussion. I wander back to my bedroom. This is too much to think about. I need a clear head, a fresh morning approach to the problem. I put the offending documents in my backpack. Tomorrow is another day. Clambering into bed, I switch off the light and lie staring up at the ceiling. Oh, I wish I'd never met him. My inner goddess shakes her head at me. She and I know it's a lie. I have never felt as alive as I do now. I close my eyes, and I drift into a heavy sleep with occasional dreams of 4-poster beds and shackles and intense gray eyes. Kate wakes me the next day. Anna, I've been calling you. You must have been out cold. My eyes reluctantly open. She's not just up, she's been for a run. I glance at my alarm. It's 8 in the morning. Holy Moses, I've slept for a solid 9 hours. What is it? I mumble sleepily. There's a man here with a delivery for you. You have to sign for it. What? Come on. It's big. It looks interesting. She hops from foot to foot excitedly and bounds back into the living room. I clamber out of bed and grab my robe hanging on the back of my door. A smart young man with a ponytail is standing in our living room clasping a large box. Hi, I mumble. I'll make you some tea. Kate scuttles off to the kitchen. Miss Steele, and I immediately know who the parcel is from. Yes, I answer cautiously. I have a package for you here, but I have to set it up and show you how to use it. Really? At this time? Only following orders, ma'am. He smiles in a charming but professional, he's not taking any crap way. Did he just call me ma'am? Have I aged 10 years overnight? If I have, it's that contract. My mouth puckers in disgust. Okay, what is it? It's a MacBook Pro. Course, it is. I roll my eyes. These aren't available in the shops yet, ma'am. The very latest from Apple. How come that does not surprise me? I sigh heavily. Just set it up on the dining table over there. I wander into the kitchen to join Kate. What is it? She says inquisitively, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. She's slept well, too. It's a laptop from Christian. Why's he sent you a laptop? You know you can use mine. She frowns. Not for what he has in mind. Oh, it's only on loan. He wanted me to try it out. My excuse sounds feeble, but Kate nods her assent. Oh my, I have hoodwinked Catherine Kavanaugh. First, she hands me my tea. The Mac laptop is sleek and silver and rather beautiful. It has a very large screen. Christian Grey likes scale. I think of his living area, in fact, his whole apartment. It's got the latest OS and a full suite of programs, plus a 1.5 terabyte hard drive, so you'll have plenty of room. 32 gigs of RAM. What are you planning to use it for? Email. He chokes, raising his eyebrows with a slightly sick look on his face. And maybe internet research. I shrug apologetically. He sighs. I haven't got a clue what he's saying. And in all honestly, I'm not interested. Just tell me how to switch it on and off. I'll figure out the rest. After all, I've been using Kate's for years. Kate whistles, impressed when she sees it. This is next generation tech. She raises her eyebrows at me. Most women get flowers or maybe jewelry, she says suggestively, trying to suppress a smile. I scowl at her but can't keep a straight face. We both burst into a fit of giggles, and Computer Man gapes at us, bemused. He finishes up and asks me to sign the delivery note. As Kate shows him out, I sit with my cup of tea and open the email program, and waiting for me is an email from Christian. My heart leaps into my mouth. I have an email from Christian Grey. Nervously, I open it. From Christian Grey. Subject: your new computer. Date: May 22, 2011, 23:15. Anastasia STEELE. Dear Miss STEELE, I trust you slept well. I hope that you put this laptop to good use, as discussed. I look forward to dinner Wednesday. I slept very well. Thank you. For some strange reason, sir, I understood that this computer was on loan, ergo not my Anna. Almost instantaneously there is a response from Christian Grey. Subject: your new computer on loan. Date: May 23, 2011, 8:22. To Anastasia STEELE. The computer is on loan indefinitely. Miss STEELE, I note from your tone that you have read the documentation I gave you. Do you have any questions so far? Christian Grey, CEO, Grey Enterprises Holdings, Inc. I can't help but grin. From Anastasia STEELE. Subject: inquiring minds. Date: May 23, 2011, 08:25. Christian Grey. I have many questions, but not suitable for email, and some of us have to work for a living. I do not want or need a computer indefinitely. Until later, good day. Sir, Anna. His reply again is instant, and it makes me smile. From Christian Grey. Subject: your new computer again on loan. Date: May 23, 2011, 08:26. Anastasia STEELE. Laters, baby peas. I work for a living too. Christian Grey, CEO, Grey Enterprises Holdings, Inc. I shut the computer down, grinning like an idiot. How can I resist? Playful Christian. I'm going to be late for work. Well, it is my last week. Mr. and Mrs. Clayton will probably cut me some slack. I race into the shower, unable to shake my face-splitting grin. He emailed me. I'm like a small, giddy child, and all the contract angst fades. As I wash my hair, I try to think of what I could possibly ask him via email. Surely it's better to talk these things through. Suppose someone hacked into his account? I flush at the thought. I dress quickly, shout a hasty goodbye to Kate, and I'm off to work my last week at Clayton's. Joe's phone's at 11. Hey, are we doing coffee? He sounds like the old Joe's. Joe's my friend, not a what did Christian call him? Suitor. Ugh. Sure, I'm at work. Can you make it here for, say, 12? See you then. He hangs up, and I go back to restocking the paintbrushes and thinking about Christian Grey and his contract. Joe's is punctual. He comes bounding into the shop like a gambling, dark-eyed puppy. Anna. He smiles his dazzling toothy, all Hispanic American smile, and I can't be angry with him anymore. Hi Joe's. I hug him. I'm starving. I'll just let Mrs. Clayton know I'm going for lunch. As we stroll to the local coffee shop, I slip my arm through Joe's ease. I single quotes so grateful for his normality. Someone I know and understand. Hey Anna, he murmurs. You've really forgiven me? Joe's. You know I can never stay mad at you for long. He grins. I can't wait to get home. The lure of emailing Christian, and maybe I can begin my research project. Kate is out somewhere, so I fire up the new laptop and open my email. Sure enough, there's a message from Christian sitting in the inbox. I'm practically bouncing out of my seat with glee. From Christian Grey. Subject: working for a living. Date: May 23, 2011, 17:24. Anastasia STEELE. Dear Miss STEELE, I do hope you had a good day at work. Christian Grey, CEO, Grey Enterprises Holdings, Inc. I hit reply. From Anastasia STEELE. Subject: working for living. Date: May 23, 2011 17:48.to. Christian Grey. Sir, I had a very good day at work, thank you. Anna, from Christian Grey. Subject: do the work. Date: May 23, 2011 17:50.to. Anastasia STEELE. Miss STEELE, delighted you had a good day. While you were emailing, you are not researching. Christian Grey, CEO, Grey Enterprises Holdings, Inc., from Anastasia STEELE. Subject: nuisance. Date: May 23, 2011 17:53.to. Christian Grey. Mr. Grey, stop emailing me, and I can start my assignment. I'd like another Anna. I hug myself. From Christian Grey. Subject: impatient. Date: May 23, 2011 17:55.to. Anastasia STEELE. Miss STEELE, stop emailing me and do your assignment. I'd like to award another A. The first one was so well deserved. Christian Grey, CEO, Grey Enterprises Holdings, Inc. Christian Grey just sent me a winking smiley. Oh my. I fire up. Google. From Anastasia STEELE. Subject: internet research. Date: May 23, 2011 17:59.to. Christian Grey. Mr. Grey, what would you suggest I put into a search engine? Anna, from Christian Grey. Subject: internet research. Date: May 23, 2011 18:02.to. Anastasia STEELE. Miss STEELE, always start with Wikipedia. And no more emails unless you have questions. Understood? Christian Grey, CEO, Grey Enterprises Holdings, Inc., from Anastasia STEELE. Subject: bossy. Date: May 23, 2011 18:04.to. Christian Grey. Yes, sir, you are so boss. Anna, from Christian Grey. Subject: in control. Date: May 23, 2011 18:06.to. Anastasia STEELE. Anastasia, you have no idea. Well, an inkling now. Do the work. Christian Grey, CEO, Grey Enterprises Holdings, Inc. I type submissive into Wikipedia. Half an hour later, I feel slight queasy and frankly shocked to my core. Do I really want this stuff in my head? Geez, is this what he gets up to? In the red room of pain, I sit staring at the screen, and part of me, a very moist and integral part of me, that I've only become acquainted with very recently, is seriously turned on. Oh my, some of this stuff is hot. But is it for me? Holy shit, could I do this? I need space. I need to think.